morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. This is Brian Land with Lucidworks. I'm the head of solutions engineering here at Lucidworks, and today, welcome to the Activate conference session. Today, we're going to talk about employee efficiency and retention is the new revenue line item. So we just have 15 minutes of, I'm going to go through a bit of a high level, kind of where are some unique differentiators in the digital workplace to make employees more effective. And then we'll also go through some demo scenarios as well towards the end, and as well as how an ROI can affect employee efficiency and essentially in help finding things faster. And so if we kind of start at the very high level, you may have seen this stat before, not just here at Lucidworks, but McKinsey did a big study a while back that a lot of knowledge workers in organizations such as yours spend a lot of time looking for information, around 20% or so, but a lot of employees are used to a way of finding things, right, in the past 10 years on their phone, on their desktop, or on their iPads. But, think about the expectations over the last decade, just asking Siri or Alexa or Home, or even just typing in the Google search box. Like you see some, who is, when is, and these services, these advanced AI providers, they've been doing this for a while. They have large data science teams, and they've created some really great algorithms, and they know who you are, where you are, what you searched on the past, and all of your patterns of searching and clicking. And so they can provide a really customized experience for you to help you find things. But that's in the public, right? But within enterprise, what we see and what we hear is that, hey, I just can't find things. I get a lot of zero results, maybe too many parametric search parameters. There you see on the right-hand side is a SharePoint example. And we do provide enhanced search for SharePoint, as well as a lot of other systems out there. We have essentially data agnostic. We can ingest any data in, but we'll get to that later. Today, we're talking about expectations from an employee and how to make them more productive. And so that Google example, what they're using is a knowledge graph and semantic vector search, and that's another capability here at Lucidworks. But it's essentially it's a set of techniques for finding information by meaning as opposed to lexical search, right? Keyword search, which finds products by matching keywords and their variants. So I know that's kind of technical. If you could think about that on the left-hand side, we do plot all the relationships of the data within your organization, as well as products. We have commerce product customers as well. But if you think about how they're related, think about just browsing a hardware store, like a Lowe's or Home Depot. And so you think of like a hammer is closely related to a nail, or a screwdriver related to maybe some screws, and vice versa. So kind of we get that. We know as you're searching for things and trying to find things, we've had that group of meaning. Now we also have lexical search and signal boosting and things like that, but it really helps in helping our employees find things faster. But we also marry that with what's called signals. So signals, you think about user behavior, what the employees are searching on, what are the documents they're eventually clicking on, as well as we know, since you're typically authenticated, what department they're from, their geolocation, where are they? Are they in Asia? Are they in Texas? Are they in New York? As well as their profiles and skill sets. So we can provide a very personalized experience based on this information, based on that relationship on the semantic side, on the signals that we can ingest from an ERP, CRM, from their authentication systems, for example. And so the goal is to bring that consumer-like experience to the workplace and personalize that insight discovery. You're right. Folks who are trying to make decisions, trying to get insights, and whether it be to just at the high level find the latest holiday schedule, which is the most likely search in a lot of organizations, to finding a very unique information within a document that may have maybe 1,000-page engineering manual, which has all that data locked into it, maybe in a PDF or in a Word doc. But how do we extract that information to make that decision? So the goal is to increase employee engagement and make faster insights. And so our solution, we have this knowledge management experience. You see keyword search on the right. We've been doing this for a long time. I mentioned the expense policy or a holiday schedule, very common search terms. But we can also, we understand things like that domain knowledge, those TLAs, three-letter acronyms. What's the document about? Not just the text inside of it. Of course, we can crawl that. We've been doing that for a long time. But understanding what's the document about, what's the topic, give me a summary, those text analytics. But also as a user, where am I coming from? Am I an engineer, or am I marketing? Am I in accounting? And again, where am I from a geo perspective? We can provide that personalized search based on all those and those affinities, as well as things like recommended articles. You'll see when you're shopping on Amazon, right? Other folks searched on this, other folks bought this when they added to cart. You can do that as well with the employee and internal documents. So similar articles, related topics, and things like that. So we're able to reuse those same methodologies in commerce into the employee experience. Security is also very important. Unlike commerce, we want to make sure that only the authorized people can view the documents they're authorized for. So we have this concept called security trimming, and we have large customers with hundreds of millions of documents, 100,000 employees scaled globally, as well as we have one customer up to 1,500 nested access control lists, ACLs. So how do you do that within the platform? And we're able to do that with a query side trimming. And so the goal is to provide that 360 experience for an employee, find everything in a digital workplace hub. And we'll go through some examples here. For example, when someone searches for, fracking, this is an oil and gas type of customer. Do we boost engineering reports, for example, for the geophysicists, or show analyst reports for marketing users? So just have that hyper personalization to make that really unique for the employee. What about all that information I mentioned earlier that are in PDFs, Word docs, and engineering reports? A lot of that information is kind of locked in those files, large files, for years and even decades. So how do we unlock and mine that data and extract new metadata from the documents? We have this concept called named entity extraction. So we can, as we're indexing the data, extract those key concepts, extract the metadata, not just people, place, person, thing, but also could be concepts within your unique organization. These are very domain specific. And so we have a lot of out-of-the-box machine learning jobs, 25 to be exact. And we've been building these machine learning jobs over 7 years. So this is a key concept of unlocking and getting that information out of corporate data. Recommenders, I mentioned, helping the user. You've seen these on concepts at commerce sites and Amazon, finding similar articles, others found useful based on the search, or others found useful based on the document itself, or you may also like. So related information to help gain new insights. Say I'm researching a competitor, I'm researching a new place to drill. Again, that's another oil and gas kind of reference, but yeah, really interesting stuff here. Sentiment analysis as well. We see this a lot in marketing. Our marketing customers they're indexing data, whether it be manufacturing data, whether it be customer service data from a CRM system. What are people saying? What are the reviews, and what it means to a customer? And then you can plot that on a user experience, like a UI, where you can do even heat maps. Let's say you have a lot of retail store locations. What are people saying in different geos, so that you can make decisions as a marketing knowledge worker. We also, as I mentioned earlier, the TLAs and the three-letter acronyms and domain-specific terms, and across industries, whether you're in banking, oil and gas, healthcare, big tech, right? Everyone has their domain, and even within a company, we have our own phrases and ways of saying things here at Lucidworks, and that could really mess up relevancy, search relevancy, and finding things. And so there are some capabilities in Fusion where we analyze the searches and analyze the content and start suggesting rewrites, suggesting query rewrites as you're searching things, and suggesting spellings and phrases, and also synonyms, so to enhance the employee experience. Here's another interesting thing about that semantic vector search that we talked about earlier. Now, it's really great to power chatbots. We're also seeing a lot of chatbots in terms of not just externally to your customers, so external facing, but also internal facing. Internal based chatbot for HR, internal based chatbot for IT. How do I change my password? When's the next sign up for our new healthcare plan? Things like that. So where in lexical search you may not get a great hit on that because it has to match the keyword. That's great at the semantic vector search for powering chatbots. It's great for understanding intent. I'm intending to change my healthcare. I'm intending to change my password. And there's lots of different ways of saying that same phrase. So awesome way to enhance an employee experience that way. So I just wanted to go through a few. I know we talked a little bit technical on those demo examples and those screenshot examples, but now we talk about the business and how these new insight engines can help. I mentioned earlier, customers, large global employees can't find information, right, to make those decisions. That's going to be an automatic increase in productivity. And what about making decisions, in terms of you have a big investment to make. And so getting as much information as possible, extracting that data that's been locked up in your core data for years or decades. There are decisions to be made can have a top line impact. That's really important. We talked about customer sentiment. Or in this case, our customer has a lot of retail gas stations, so providing heat maps to understand what customers are talking about. The sentiment, is it green or red or yellow? Where should I take action? That's a great driver for customer satisfaction, just making sure customer sat's high. Really important these days. It's a very competitive world. We have customers with field engineers who are trying to find the proper parts. They maybe fix a piece of the rig, fix a piece in the field, and they need to find not just the parts, but also the engineering doc that's correlated with that. And so having that information at the core, maybe through a tablet or in the field itself, that's really going to increase productivity and reduce downtime for those field engineers. We see this a lot as well. Legal teams can't find information to make to take action on a new contract and things like that. So you think about all those legal docs that are locked into PDFs and stored on file shares. We can extract that information, enrich it, and then provide that for legal teams. These are all examples where Fusion is used not just for enterprise search, but broadly within a large organization. Not just, like I mentioned, IT search or internal search or site search, but they're using it within specific departments. Another example our competitors are doing, one of our customers are doing, is analyzing competitive information. So crawling public data and seeing what are the competitors doing and what's the sentiment on that, and then providing that in a UI. So all just examples of our customers using outside of just search, making them productive and giving that kind of next best in class experience. And there's an ROI to that as well. This is the last piece of the session here, but think about that in terms of we talk about productivity, transforming all that data from silos to unified search experience. Better decision making. Now that I have the information at my fingertips, it's enhanced. The metadata has been enhanced. I can make a decision that's going to have impact if I'm in marketing or if I'm a geophysicist. If I'm in an accounting or legal, that's going to faster, better decision making. It's going to have impact like we just mentioned in the previous slide, whether it be reducing costs or top line revenue, making my customers happier. And finally, speed time to market. That first slide where knowledge workers are spending 20% of their time looking for information. If I can make faster decisions with that information at my fingertips, it just makes for a much greater experience for employees and the company as a whole. All right, well, that was my session. Thank you again, Brian Land. I appreciate it. Please DM me on LinkedIn, and I'm in Austin, Texas. Just if you have any questions, I'll be around after the webinar as well. So thank you, everybody.